Hello there. I got me a rant. My name's Rocky Nicholson, and I live in Newfoundland, Canada. I'm a little pissed off at Canadians today for all the stuff they're saying about Justin Trudeau. I don't like him either. I don't think he's much good for anything. Now, he gave his condolences to a country for the loss of their leader, which was the right thing to do. To stand there and badger him and call him bad things and stuff would not have been the right thing to do. As a country ourselves, we haven't got a history that's all that much different for oppression, abuse of human rights. We got a whole list of problems in our country, and we as a people got a whole list of problems. So where the hell do you all get off on sitting back in your armchair, shooting your mouth off, calling somebody down that did something good for their people? Now, Cuba back in the 50s and the 40s, the government that was there before Castro, well, they were really oppressive. You think Castro was oppressive? You ought to try these people out. They line people up against the wall and shoot them because they complain. They burn their houses down, rape their daughters and their sons, kill off their livestock. That sounds like a really good government to keep in. We'd like to have that. Not really. Castro come to power, he fought, and he overthrew that government trying to make it better for his people, the only way he knew how. Now, he lived the same as his people. He ate the same food, went to the same hospitals, didn't get any special care. He did what he had to do. Yes, he rounded up the gays and sent them for re-education. Yes, he killed 586 people or so. Yes, he threw a whole bunch of people in jail. Okay, let's stop and go back a few years, back in the 50s. How many people did we hang for murder, bank robbery, child molestation, rape? Lots. Lots and lots. A lot more than 580. Down in the States, same thing. Killed a lot more than that. What did we do to the Indians? We come over here, we slaughtered them. I'm a half-breed, half white, half Indian. Don't agree with either one of them. But let's get back to the point. We had genocide. When we finished with the genocide there, down in the States, not here in Canada, we brought in a bunch of black people. African Americans, we call them. And we tortured them, we enslaved them, we beat them, we crippled them, we humiliated them, we raped them, we did all sorts of nasty things to them. But that was okay because we're white and we got it right. Well, I don't think everybody feels that way. Down in the States, you got the police running around shooting everybody just because they aren't white. Or because they got a gold chain on them or they look like a gangbanger. That's not right. That's not their job. Their job is to serve and protect. They are not the law. They are the upholders of law. Same thing in this country. The Indians stand up for themselves. They get beat down, thrown in prison. Stick them on reserves. Poor housing, poor food, poor water, poor education, poor health care. Same thing down in the States. Look down there at Standing Rock right now. These people are standing out in the cold sand. You can't put this pipeline in because you're ruining our water. And we're throwing concussion grenades at them, shooting them with tear gas, spraying them down with water cannons in the middle of winter. Yeah, and it's not too much different in Castro. No, not too much different at all. Back in the 40s and 50s, in Canada and the United States and in England, if you were a homosexual, you got 5 to life in prison. If you spoke out against the government, you were a communist or a socialist, you got 5 years to life in prison. If you picked up arms against the government or committed treason, you were stuck up against a wall and you were shot. No different than it was in Cuba. Stop and think about it. Now, here we are, bad-mouthing Castro. He did what he had to do to bring his people out of repression. He tried to bring them to a better way of life. Now, he could have done that, and he could have had it right up to where we are, and maybe even better, but our government, or infinite wisdom, put a flotilla around their country and blocked all trade. There is no way that country could have raised itself above the level of poverty that it was in, because they couldn't get anything in or anything out. But they were resourceful. They farmed, they raised cattle, livestock. They took care of themselves. They built the best structures to live in that they could. They took care of their poor, their weak, their helpless. They killed child molesters and rapists. And then when the Americans tried to go back, take country back from Castro, they lost. They got their ass kicked. Bay of Pigs, remember? And he shot a whole bunch of them right up against the wall for trying to coming in and invading his country. And he threw a whole shitload of them in jail for invading his country. You think we'd do anything any different? No, sir, we would not. We'd have them up against the wall shooting them. We'd have them in prison. We'd have them on boats and airplanes, send them back where they come from faster than you can shake your tail. So, all you Canadians out there that are sitting there bad-mouthing Castro, all you Americans that are bad-mouthing Castro, well, go back here 100 years or so, a couple hundred years, back to the time of the British. The British treated you like animals. They used to line you up against a house and shoot you, hang your kids from trees, burn your crops. You stood up and you revolted and you kicked them out. Good for you, right thing to do. But to sit back and run down another man's country and impose yourself upon him and badmouth him after he dies for doing all the things that he thought was proper and good for his country is downright disgusting. How would you feel if somebody was talking like that about your president and got assassinated? Or died of old age, or a car accident? You wouldn't be none too happy, you'd be up in arms. Yes, I know, a lot of you people are going to be pissed right off at me. I'm going to get a whole lot of bad shit thrown at me on the internet here. And welcome it, bring it on. What I do got to say is, before you start running around and shooting your mouths off and calling everybody down, saying how bad everybody else is, stop, take a look around. Look at the guy beside you and the guy in front of you and the guy behind you. Look at the families that are living on the street. Not just some guy that give up on life and become a bum. We're talking about hard-working families that lost everything they got. Because they lost a job because our governments, in their infinite wisdom, sent all our jobs overseas. Our old people worked all their lives. They paid their taxes and everything else. They can't afford to keep their houses warm. They can't afford the medication that they need in their old age to stay healthy. And they too are living on the streets. Why? Not acceptable. Our veterans, they proudly put on that uniform and they go overseas and they fight for our country and our beliefs and our people and our way of life. And they get busted up, they get shot up, they lose arms, legs, eyes, burn the skin right off of them. And they come home, and what does our government do? They spit on them. They throw them under the bus, as you Americans say. Here in Canada, it's a little different. They say, oh, we're doing it because we can't afford this and we can't afford that. Well, hey, if you can afford to drop $10 trillion worth of bombs on somebody else, why can't you take 10% of that money and take our people off the streets, feed them, and take care of them? Instead of throwing everybody in jail for smoking a joint or doing a line of coke or something, giving them community work. Make them go and take care of the old people, clean their houses and stuff. Let them understand what dignity is. If you fixed our country, Trudeau, like you said you would, we wouldn't have poverty in our inner cities. We wouldn't have the drug problem that we have. They don't have them problems in Cuba. So, what I'm saying is, before you start shooting your mouth off about somebody else's way of life, stop and look at your own and see if it's any better than theirs. And I'm saying to our government, put your money where your mouth is. You, Justin Trudeau, gay rights, rights this, rights that, rights this, rights that. Well, a gay man comes out of the closet, a gay woman comes out of the closet, she stands up, he stands up, says, hey, everybody, I'm gay. Well, good for them. They had balls. They stood up and said, this is who I am, and this is what I am, and this is what I'm doing. You, Justin Trudeau, how about doing the same thing? You said you were going to fix our country. Stand up. Get the hell out of the closet. Do what you said you were going to do. We have a lot of hungry, sick, destitute people. And we're sending money to other countries, to dictators, Saudi Arabia, Iraq. Were they any different than Castro? And this is what I'm saying to you Canadian people. Before you start running down Cuba and Castro, why don't you bitch at our governments about Saudi Arabia bombing Yemen, killing all those innocent women and children? They're dictators. Women are allowed to have educations in Saudi Arabia. Women got no rights in Saudi Arabia. The husband can kill the woman, the wife, because she didn't bow down and kiss his ass enough that day. We as Canadians got a lot of rights. And we got a lot of good things. We got good health care. We don't have a job, we got a welfare system. If we're out of work, we got unemployment if we were working before. But the problem is all our jobs are going overseas. All overseas. Why not keep it home? Sure, we need bombs and airplanes and guns and an army and everything, but to protect ourselves, not to go over and impose our way on somebody else. We wouldn't like it if they did it to us. If they did, we'd nuke them. So come on, Canada. Quit being a bunch of whiny pussies. Stand up for yourselves. Yelling and screaming on the streets don't change anything. Writing your fancy letters don't mean anything. If the government ain't going to use your taxes to take care of us, then stop fucking paying them. What they can do, throw everybody in jail? I don't think so. The Cuban people stood up and they revolted for their rights. If everybody did that around the world, it would be a lot better place to live in. That's my rant. Thank you very much. Justin Trudeau, you are a pussy. Please take care of Canada. Fix it like you said you would. And Trump, down there in the States, you got my backing 100%. But I got this funny feeling that you, like Trudeau, are a pussy too, and you're going to sell us out just like they all do. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Merry Christmas.